Hey, what is going on, everybody? Dub Club TV here. We're running this back with Nick A11 Bets. Nick, we screwed up, man. We did good last time. People enjoyed it. People learned from you, and now that means we have to do it again. How you doing, dude?
I'm great, man. I'm excited for a huge day of sports ahead of us.
I
Huge
was gonna
day.
say we are talking Sweet 16, but like yeah, it's a huge sports day because it's opening day too, and we were talking just jamming for a second before we went live here. Like it's an exciting sports day. A
Oh
lot
yeah.
happening. You want to give us a quick recap? How was how your brackets doing? Are you shot too? Everybody's shot by this point. Like no one's got a perfect bracket in ESPN land, any of
Oh yeah.
that. But
My
like, where you
my
at?
bracket got cooked. I think right now I'm sitting at 97%, but Louisville cooked me in the first round.
Was
So
that
I
your
had I
big
had
mistake?
I had USF going. Other than that, that entire East region first round I nailed. West region I nailed all except BYU and High Point, which is ironic because I ended up betting High Point. But I picked Wisconsin on my bracket because who wouldn't? And then South, North Carolina screwed me, and they were up like 20.
That hurt a lot of people, I
That
think.
was a horrible, horrible collapse. And then I nailed everything on the. I'm still perfect actually in the entire Midwest up to today.
So basically, what you're saying is if people had followed you, they'd be doing pretty all right now.
Bracket wise and picks wise, yeah. I mean, I don't want to glaze myself too much, but I think I have the best March Madness record out there right now.
You're flying, and I love that.
Oh
And that's
yeah,
why we brought you back.
units, win percentage, however you want to look at it, ROI. I don't think there's anybody up there with me right now.
Well, you know what? You and I had some good conversations. Like I said, a lot of it came true. It's almost like we knew what we were talking about. So that's why you and I got to do it again. Oh,
Yeah, I'm ready.
some Sweet 16. All right, man. Anything else you want to tell the people before we get into this, other than like you said, you're doing what you don't want to jinx yourself, but things are going well for you in A11 land.
Nothing, man. There's just a lot to talk about today. What's in the past is in the past. It's a new day.
Well, here, I'll give you the choice. This is like dealer's choice here. Do you want me to run you through, or do you want to run us through? Like, do you want me just to go game by game like we've done, or do
Yeah,
you
yeah, let's
have
do
stuff
that.
you want to hit? You want to do that? Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
cool.
And then along
I
the way, if something pops up, I'll just kind of intervene.
Awesome. Well, you know what? I love that we're going to start with Texas and Purdue. It's the first game today on the 26th, and I love it because Texas is our last remaining double digit seed, I believe, unless I'm
Yeah.
missing some. No, yeah, the last one. Like they're not supposed to be there. Purdue
Nope.
is starting to look like Purdue, like as was expected most of the season. They were Purdue, then they weren't Purdue, but now they're rounding back towards Purdue. Texas, like I said, not really expected to be there based on that seed, but what do you see? No one cares what I think. What do you see?
I mean, I don't have too much to talk. This is kind of my least favorite game of the day. I wouldn't be surprised if Purdue wins by 10 or more. I did take half a unit on Texas plus 8.5 just because that backdoor narrative. I wanted to bet every game today. So I took Texas for plus 8.5. I think they're a gritty team. I was not a big fan of them to start the tournament, except when they beat NC State. And then I had BYU beating them in the first round, and that obviously did not happen. And then they've been playing real gritty basketball, but I wouldn't be surprised if this game is like super close down to the wire. And then kind of Purdue just pulls away. I mean, they got the better coach. They got experienced players. I don't know. Braden Smith is a beast. I think he's one of the best guards in the country right now.
I mean, I think when you look at some of the matchups, trying to see, Smith and Swain kind of going head to head. Smith is a great player. He really
Yeah,
is.
Swain Swain has he hasn't really impressed me at this tournament as much. Obviously he's a great player, but I don't think he's played up to his expectations. Everybody around him has been playing really well. Their guard play has been actually doing really solid, but way better than I expected. Their big man's I forget how to pronounce his name, but that big European dude, he's a beast. kind of interested how he's got to play against Clough tonight because Purdue's got a big front court as well.
Of course they do. They're Purdue. They always have a big front court. It's what,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
what you do.
But that game's really tricky. That's why I only played it for half a unit. It's just a really tricky game, first game back. But I don't know. I think plus 8.5 in a Sweet 16 matchup is a good number to get for a Cinderella team like Texas. Would you consider them a Cinderella? I would. Their first four. I would
I was gonna say
consider them.
it's weird to think of Texas as a Cinderella in general,
right? Yeah, yeah.
but everything about the seeding, the numbers, all that says I mean they are the closest we have to a Cinderella right now. They're the best.
I'd
fairy
consider
tale.
one.
But, well, and I think it's interesting. Like you said, Swain, I don't think has had a great tournament necessarily. But we know what he's capable of, and Texas has put it together kind of with him playing maybe not his A game. So it's like, does he show up all of a sudden? Do we get what we saw all season?
And that's very, you could easily predict that because big players come out in the big games, and I think Swain's a big player, but really Jordan Pope, what's the other kid's name? I don't want to be rude, but I forget his name. He's got the fucking ginormous forehead. I think it's like Weaver. Yeah, Weaver.
Is that who it is? I
Yeah.
don't know people by foreheads, but I believe you.
He's been very I think he had like 11 or 12 rebounds. I mean, he's a smaller guard and he's getting 8, 9, 10 rebounds per game. A lot are coming off the offensive glass. Like their guard play has been really saving them. But the Volcatitis, yeah, that guy, that's his name. That dude's a beast. But I don't know. Purdue's just got to be a lot to handle. I don't think Texas will win this game, but I think they'll be able to keep it in a reasonable distance for majority of the game.
Keep it right there. Yeah. No, like I said, I think it comes down to is the magic up for Texas? That's where and that's where it's at. And I think Purdue's just a solid team. I think we've seen enough of who they should be, and I think they show up tonight. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, another thing to look at too is like Texas. They're one of the most, I wouldn't call them aggressive, but they foul a lot and they get fouled a lot, and almost everybody on Purdue, like when it's crunch time, everybody on the court for Purdue can make free throws, and if it comes down to that, that's what wins you games in March is free throws. So I think Purdue has the advantage there. Texas is gonna have to play like just a perfect game all around. They're gonna really have to execute the game plan. They're gonna have to try to shut down Floyer as much as they can, because I think he's been the best player on Purdue in the tournament. Like that kid, I think he almost shot 100% a game ago. Like that,
the coach's son thing. Like I mean, that's an NBA coach's kid. Like
yeah, that kid is ridiculous. He is a shooter. But yeah, Braden Smith too. I mean, we haven't seen a big scoring game out of him either. He hasn't looked like his true self shooting the ball. So that's another thing to look forward to. Like you could get a Braden Smith 25-15 game out of nowhere. Like it's possible. It's in the cards.
And you mentioned the free throw shooting of Purdue, and I think that's something to watch for with the Lion, especially where if Purdue's up 4-5 towards the end of the game and they're getting sent to the line, we know they shoot free throws well. Like I could see that playing into that final line there too.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, like I said from the beginning, I don't got too much to say about this game. It's really my least.
Leave it to you and me to go.
Honestly, yeah.
Don't have much to say, but we'll talk about it for 5-6 minutes. Like that's that's where we're at.
Yeah.
All right.
The real fun starts now with this battle of the Midwest.
Let's talk some Big Ten basketball, some Iowa and Nebraska. You're excited about this one. Why are you excited about this one?
Oh, I mean, I'm a Big Ten guy. I'm a big Illinois fan. That's my team. I watch Big Ten basketball since I was 5-6 years old as much as I can, and you can make a strong argument that the Big Ten is the best conference in basketball right now.
Tournament says they are right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, they got 6 teams in the Sweet 16, something like that.
Something. I hadn't counted. 3,
Michigan
4,
State.
5.
Only 5. Wait, Michigan State, Purdue, Iowa, Nebraska, Illinois. Yeah, 5. Yep.
5.
Oh, and Michigan.
I just don't know how to count. That's fine.
So yeah, I mean, and this, I feel like Iowa and Nebraska are like twin brothers. Like
Yeah,
this is such a
it's the same
I,
teams playing each other.
yeah, and I mean they're familiar with each other. They played twice already this season. I think both teams won at their home crowd. Nebraska won at Nebraska, and then Iowa won at Iowa. Um, and I kind of felt the same way about both these teams to start the season as the season went on. You know, Nebraska started the season like 18-0 or something crazy. They ended up whooping my Illini at Illinois by like off that game winner, but they dominated the majority of the game. The score didn't really tell the whole story, but same with I wasn't a big believer in Nebraska. And same with Iowa. I just don't like the way I can't say it anymore because they proved me wrong, but I just didn't like their style of play. Like, but I guess it worked for them. You know, just Sturge dribbling the ball for 20, 25 seconds, dishing it out for a three. They're just so well coached and like they play the possession game so much, it comes to their advantage. And we've seen that with Florida. Um, I think like I forgot the exact number of it, but whenever the game is under a certain number of possessions, Florida is 0-5. So when you limit possessions against Florida, um, it's their kryptonite, and that's exactly what Iowa is really good at. And we see what happened there. They dominated 90% of that game until Florida made a late run and Iowa made a play. Let me talk about that real quick.
Yeah, yeah. Please
Oh
do.
my God, Todd Golden. I think he's a great coach, but that was one of the worst mistakes I've seen all tournament. Um, and then in the presser, his defense for that just made it even worse. You're up to there's like what 3.8 seconds left, and your full court press, and because your purpose of that is to foul and let the game go to overtime.
Not a fan.
It makes zero like obviously you'd have the edge in overtime, you know, you'd have the slight edge in overtime, but I think they had like three players above in half court pressing. Um they had two players back, and that's exactly why you didn't do that, you know. Sturz can easily break that press. He can dribble through four players if he wanted to. Drives it in, kicks it out, wide open corner three, bang. Yeah, I mean, that was a brutal game. But that's what Ben McCollum does. He's a great coach. He was prepared for it. Um, but yeah, let's keep talking about this Nebraska game.
Well, so let me just say this too. Like, I'm still not used to looking at this as a basketball game. You know, I see Iowa and Nebraska, and I'm thinking it's like October football. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah,
I'm just ready for like a game that's just going to grind it out in the run game. It's going to be like 14-9 final
yeah,
here. So it's like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just wrapping my head around like, no, we're playing basketball, and we're actually going to score some points. And it's just, it's crazy to see. And like, I mean, having two Big Ten teams meeting in the Sweet 16, it's great for the league, but
yeah,
it's kind of a weird matchup, like you said, where you're that familiar with your opponent.
yeah. I mean, when did they play? Yeah, they played each other not even a month ago. They played each other like 2 weeks ago. So
Was that the Nebraska game or the Iowa game? Like who was hosting?
it was at Nebraska.
At
Nebraska
Nebraska.
won by they won by 9. Um,
So you move that to a neutral court, and you're like, well, nine's a big number.
yeah, and I think the line is set actually like it's a really sharp line here. I mean, it's moved slightly up and down, but I don't think it's gone over -150 and gone below -120 for Nebraska money line, and that's about where I'd have it at too. Um, I do have a lean on this one. I do like Nebraska. Uh, I think they're just more when you watch them play. I think they're more of a connected team, and they respond really well when you punch them in the mouth. Like if Iowa can go up, get a quick 10-0 lead, they're not the type to just roll over and lay down. Like they're the type to get right back up and go on their own 10-0 run. Um, and they're one of those same. I mean, similar to Iowa, but Nebraska's one of those teams. If they shoot 40% from three, they're almost guaranteed to win the game. Like, and they're got to shoot. They're got to get some shots up. They're probably got to get close to 30, at least 33s up this game. even with limited possessions. Like they know what their identity is. They stick to it. They have good guard play. It's got to be a good one, but similar to what we talked about in the previous game, like Bennett Sturts hasn't had that big game that we know he can have. He's a top 12 draft pick coming up. And let me look at his box score stats last two games, because I watched both the Clemson and Florida game, and like you would think Iowa beat Florida, like all Bennett Sturts probably had 25, 30. He had 13 on 5 for 16 shooting, going 0 for 9 from 3.
Not a normal day for him.
Oh, absolutely not. So Bennett Sturts had probably one of the worst games he's had all year shooting, and Iowa still found a way to win. Um, I think as a team, well, if you take Bennett Sturts' 9 3-pointers away, they shot basically 50% from three. And then against Clemson, he also didn't have the good game either, in my opinion. Yeah, he had 16 points, but he was 4 for 17 from the three. I mean, from the field.
On the field.
So he's shooting like 23, 24% in the two tournament games, and they still found a way to win both of them. Like,
But you have to imagine, like, water finds its level, right? Like,
right. You'd have to imagine he's got to have a big game, especially now he's playing more of his somebody's, he's playing a bunch of white boys himself. He's not playing a gritty Florida defense or athletic Clemson backcourt. Like
we're getting down to the trenches in this game.
he's comfortable in this game. That's all I'll say. He's got to
All
be real
right.
comfortable.
So let's go. Let's keep this moving here, because you and I can just talk the same game for way too long. We know that. How do you feel about the next game up, where we've got Arkansas, Calipari, coached Arkansas team, with that Arizona team that just looks like a juggernaut right now?
This is. It's so oh my god. I was gonna say this is the game of the day, but to be honest, the next game is definitely the game of the day. Like this game has got to get overlooked just because of how good of a game Illinois and Houston's got to be. But I love this Arkansas Arizona game. And I'm being kind of contrarian, I'd say, with my side on this one. I was able to snag. I'll give my play out. I was able to snag Arkansas plus 8.5 a few days ago, and I think that is way too many points in a Sweet 16, in a Sweet 16 matchup against Arizona. I know the argument to this is they got the most similar team to Arizona, in my opinion, would be Florida, like in play style and size, etc. And I know Arkansas got absolutely killed by Florida a few weeks ago. Like that game was brutal to watch. But I don't think this is the same Arkansas team we saw back then. They got the best player on the court in Acuff.
I was gonna say that's. I don't want to cut you off, but that
Yeah,
right there is the only reason I believe that Arkansas has a chance here. I think this, and this is a lot to say because he's had a really good tournament. We all know how good Acuff is,
yeah,
but this might be the Acuff coming out game, like the coup de grace before he runs off to the NBA here. If it could be this game.
yeah. I mean, that's a generational talent right there. That kid is ridiculous.
I think we talked about, I'm from Michigan originally. So I've
Mhm.
been aware of Acuff for many years, going through, just what he was going to be. And what
Yeah,
an incredible player, good dude too, which is like bonus. Love to hear that.
yeah. He seems really humble. From you don't ever see any drama about him. He just signed a Reebok deal too, which is good for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Arkansas, coming into this game, like if you just look at the box score against High Point, they scraped by 6, but High Point's actually a really good team. Like don't just think of just because they're seed in their name. Like High Point is a really good team. They would have kept it close with almost anybody. But other than that, they had one really bad loss all season recently, and that was to Florida when they lost by fucking 40, I think. Well, then they had that one game against Alabama. I actually had Alabama this game. That was one of my favorite games all season. 232 points in a college game. That was ridiculous. That was one of the
Just
highest.
up and down that
Yeah,
court.
yeah. Before the game, it was like one of the highest totals ever. Acuff had 50 that game. Phylon had fucking 35, but that's the only other loss other than that Florida loss in like the last 2 months heading into this game. You know, they've been playing really good ball. They got wins over Vanderbilt, Missouri, Texas, Missouri again. But they handle business well. They got probably one of the best coaches left in the tournament in Calipari. Um, they run a really small rotation, and luckily, I think they're getting Pringle back, which has got to help them out a lot because they're got to need as many bodies as possible against Arizona.
To bang down low with them down there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Utah State really kind of, I wouldn't say, I'm not gonna say exposed Arizona, but they showed that they're human. You know, they kept it close with them all game long. They might have gave a good recipe for Arkansas to come up with to beat them, but
Quick side note:
yeah,
when we talked Utah State just last week, didn't I tell you as soon as that team got knocked out that Calhoun is going to Cincinnati? Didn't we talk about that on
yeah,
a live
you
stream
you
together?
you called that. You definitely called that. I got to give you
It's
credit.
it's on video. Like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't the biggest secret in the world, but like, it's on video.
Yeah,
You and I talked about that a week ago.
I remember that. I remember that vividly.
Sorry, go on. But yeah, no,
No, no,
Utah State.
no, no.
I think they did give a good recipe for how to. I mean, they played a great game.
They played a phenomenal game. I mean, it was way close. I got so lucky with that game. I had Arizona minus 11, and they were up like 18, 19 with like 15 minutes left in the second half, and they just would not go away. They played really well. I think they cut the lead down to like 4 or 6 in the last few minutes, and Arizona went on a 9-0 run with 2 minutes left to cover my spread. So, but they cut it down to 4 with 5 minutes left. Then it was 6 with 3 minutes left, and then Karchenkov and Burries and Krivas were just. I mean, the entire they're just so much to handle. They're so deep. They play so well together. You got Delorso coming off the bench. You got they're just a great team. Yeah. What you got for me? Give me bounce some thoughts off.
You know what? Selfishly, I don't believe in Calipari, and that's because, as we've talked about, as an Oakland fan, we send
Yeah.
him away from Kentucky. Like, so I
Yeah.
just instantly like I've got Arizona here. And
It's
end of the
not
day,
crazy to say. No, it's not at all.
at end of the day, I think Arizona is Arizona for a reason. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, not just the pedigree, but the way that they're playing this year. Like, they're not even like necessarily like, they don't have that A cuff where it's like a sexy pick. But
Yeah.
man, Arizona just is a well coached, consistent team. And in the
Yep.
tournament, that consistency is, I think, sometimes the biggest key is who can
Mm-hmm.
show up and just play their game all these other games that we've already talked about. There's like, oh, this big player hasn't actually really shown up yet, or this or that. Arizona, you just look at the box score, you
Yeah.
watch these games, you're like, they've been Arizona.
Yeah. They don't need a big game from anybody. They got 7 or 8 players that can score double digits every game.
They've just kind
I
of
mean,
taken care of business, whether it was the Ice T matchup to start things all the way through. They've just kind of been Arizona. I think there's something to that consistency, and it's tough to imagine Arizona not showing up and just doing what they do and taking care of business here.
yeah. That's not crazy to say. I know my Arkansas pick is a bit contrarian, but I just think the 8.5 is too many points. I got it at 5.5. I got Arkansas. I mean Arizona winning by 5, and let me see what else I got.
And where do you get your stuff? You've got models, right? Like, anyone who's just tuning in, maybe that isn't familiar.
Yeah, I have a few. I have a model, but I don't let that dictate everything I bet. Obviously you want to use them to your advantage, but a model can spit out some results, and if you tail them all blindly, you'll probably see a little bit, some good results from that. But you really got to watch the games too. You got to look at the lines too. You really got to know the lines, see if you see any discrepancies, take advantage of them, and beat the lines too. That's why I didn't wait until today to bet any of these games. I bet them all right when they dropped, or I waited for a better number to come out and took them right when they did. Because now I got Arkansas. I got a point of CLV on that. What else did I get? I had I can't say that one yet.
You save that. Whatever it
Yeah,
was, you
I'll
save
save
it.
the next one. I'll save the next one. But yeah, I got let me see. Let me pull it up. Yeah, then I got the total at 164. But I don't really like betting totals that much, especially in March Madness, just because there's a lot of anomalies and variables that come into it. But
All right. So here's the one I know you've been waiting for. And here's how I want to present this to you. All right, Nick.
yeah,
We both know, anyone who's been watching for a few minutes here knows that, you're a big Illinois guy. You're excited for this Illinois Houston matchup. But before we break it down, would you be willing to give us your pick of the day here with Illinois Houston? Do you feel good about it? What is your pick? Like, you mind giving us that?
I, it's tough.
Oh,
I'll say this. My pick of the day is Arkansas plus 8.5. Um, and let me expand on why it's not in this Illinois Houston game.
okay.
Okay, so I snagged Houston Elite Eight plus 125 for 2 units about 2 weeks ago. So obviously now they're I gotta go to my offshores to check the current line.
So
But
what? But while you're doing that, because again, you've seen we're gonna run this back. It's important to clip this. I want it to be
yeah.
clear. Your play of the day is going to be Arkansas on points. Is that right?
Yes,
That
lock it
that
in.
is that is like A11. Nick is locked in. If you only had one bet, that's the one.
Yeah, if I had to pick one bet out of these 4 games today, I would take Arkansas plus 8.5.
That's the viral clip right there, just for
Yep,
you.
lock it
All
in.
right. But okay, but tell me what, as excited as you are, what are you seeing in Illinois and Houston where you're like, I'm not really so sure.
So I'm torn on this game. But I had to get really creative with it because, like I was saying, I got a future for them for 2 units at plus 125. So that's a 2.5 unit win if Houston does win. And now that I really like dissect this game, and all bias aside, I really like Illinois in this matchup. I
Ooh.
think I think Illinois in their lineup and their style of play is Houston's kryptonite. So what I did is I took Illinois 1 to 10 win margin at plus 210 for a unit. So if Illinois does win this game, it's got to be a close one. That'll be a 2.1 unit win for me. If Houston does win this game, let advance the Elite Eight and cash my future. So that'll be a 2.5 unit win for me. So I hedged out on this one. But if I didn't have that future in for Houston, I would be taking Illinois plus 3.5. Um, and we all know Houston has Kingston Flemings, one of the best freshmen in the country. Um, I, I love Illinois, but I'm not a big fan of Wagler. I don't think he's as good as people really make him out to be. Uh, I think Illinois is really good because their front court. Obviously, they have a ginormous European front court. Um, Boswell is one of the best perimeter defenders in college, along with Stojakovic. I think he's really like a lot of people don't underestimate his defense and his perimeter defense, and he's a really good glue guy for them. But that front court for Illinois, is going to trouble Houston's front court with Tugler and Sanak. I they're gonna have to they're gonna have to fight for everything. And this game's gonna come down to possessions. Illinois has got to have more possessions. I think they're gonna get more offensive rebounds. Um, Houston's got to need a huge game from the X Factor like Milos Uzan and Emmanuel Sharp if they want to stay competitive in this game. Like you can't rely on Kingston Flemings to get you 20, 25 tonight. Like that's not got to cut it against Illinois and their offense. They're one of probably the best offensive team in the country. Um, you're gonna need everybody to step up, and I don't see that happening tonight.
See, here's my thing is
Yeah,
I think Houston's defense is just phenomenal and they're such a tough team. So while
yeah,
Illinois' front court, I believe can hang. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you. I think that Wagler is going to struggle to get them into sets and
yeah,
get the ball in the positions that that front court needs. I think that the Houston defense could in grittiness. And here's the thing, I hate that word. It's so overused in sports. I hate it, but that is, I
yeah.
told you last
Chelsea
time we talked.
Sampson.
I told you last time I talked. I got the chance to see Houston in person, and I got to
Mm-hmm.
see the way they fly around, and they were tough. And that was still early season. They've only gotten better, and that it's a young team. They figured out a lot of things.
Yep.
I think that Illinois struggles to get into their sets, and I think that gets Houston the win here at the end of the day. Points wise, that's where I check off to you. You're the professional, not me, but I think
Like
Houston's the better team at
spread
the end
or
of the day.
total? Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, and you can make an argument for both teams. That's why this is one of the better Sweet 16 games I can remember in a long time. Like this is such a clash of the giants. Like, but I don't disagree with what you said, but I can see where you're coming from with Wagler. Like he's obviously not crazy athletic. He's a freshman. You know, he doesn't have the experience that others do, but he plays to his own pace. Like you're not gonna speed. I mean, I haven't seen him get sped up too much, and whenever I watch him, like he's been pressured all year. He's I wouldn't say he has a target on his back, but he's a big prospect, and obviously defenses are game planning for him, and he hasn't really pissed his leg as much as I've seen. But you got Boswell is he's really experienced. It's got to be great to lean on him too for that backcourt help, and then you got Stojakovic off the bench, of course. Who I mean, he's a decent ball handler, but I think Illinois. I think they check off every box on this list. You got Gabe Davis too, who can easily knock down catch and shoot threes, which has got to be crucial in this game. The way Houston pressures the ball and forces bad passes, etc. Like you're gonna need a guy who, when you drive and you get collapsed on, you can kick it out too and catch and shoot for the three. And like I said earlier in the game, like the possessions are gonna matter crucial because I got this as a really low total game. I got Illinois. I got Illinois winning 68, Houston 66. So yeah, it's got to be a dog fest. I mean a slugfest in this one. But what is the? Let's see what the books have this line at. Yeah, they got it at 139.5. Illinois plus 2.5. And I mean,
It's right there, right? It's right there.
It's right there. And I obviously tweaked some things too to because obviously my Illinois model spewed out Illinois, but
Do you have your model set to spit out Illinois because that's what you want?
n- not necessarily. No, 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 no. But when I see when I see some variables in there that I don't think are not necessarily accurate, but I think they could be adjusted. I'm gonna adjust them to what I see and what I think. And that's what I like about my betting style too, because the eye test, like I'm such a believer in the eye test. Like you have to really watch these teams and watch how they perform against similar play styles to be able to bet on them. Like you can't just blindly bet a team that you haven't watched all season just because the data says so. Like that, it's not really gonna get you far. Especially in like the smaller markets like EuroLeague and all the other overseas markets. I bet like that's where the real edge comes into. But
Well, here, then
yeah,
let's do this because you and I have been talking. Just been the Thursday slate. We're not even going to have time for the Friday slate, but
mhm.
and that's okay because it just leaves the people wanting more. They better be following you. They better be subscribed to you because you're going to give them that Friday slate. But it is, as we mentioned at the start of this, opening day as well. I know you've got your Cubs jersey on. Do you have a Cubs bet for us today or a baseball? Just one like quick bet just for fun.
Oh yeah, Cubs -1.
There it is.
If you don't have -1, take money line and -1.5. To where if your money line wins, your -1.5 is refunded in a way or voided.
There you go. I just like I said, you and I were talking baseball for a second
Yeah,
before this. I figured
I gotta flex this off too. I had Yankees last night. I got Mets this morning. They're up 5-2. If you like home run props, I really like Suarez to get one tonight. I know he's facing Crochet, but great weather over in Great American, which is obviously one of the best parks to hit home runs in. If you watch the World Baseball Classics, Suarez was absolutely fucking raking towards the end of it. Uh, that dude looks like he's in form. He's ready to go. First game back with his former team, like that fits all the narrative. Yeah, I think he's going yard. I think he's cranking one 420 feet.
I don't have the models, I don't have the background, I don't have anything, but let me give you a home run
Yeah, let me hear it. Let me hear it. I'll
because
tell.
because and this is just me with my heart, with my
Uh,
absolute heart of hearts, and I'm a Tigers fan. I've
oh
been so
God.
close. I've been so close so many times, and yet
Tell
never
me you got
never
like
seen it.
Riley Green.
Kevin McGonigal. He's getting the start at third base. The kid's gonna get him one. He's gonna put it into left field off the in San Diego off the
Plus
wall there.
560. That's interesting.
Kevin McGonigal. There it is.
That's interesting. I'm gonna tell that.
And if it doesn't work, remember I'm the dub clubber. I am not the capper. That's on you. But that's my one is I think the kid comes out and just gets himself one to start things. Number 2 prospect in all MLB, up to the show.
Is he actually? I did not know that. I
Yeah,
knew he was. I knew he was a bigger prospect. I didn't know he was number two though.
he's number 2.
Wow.
And they weren't sure if they were going to let him if they were going to start the clock. That's really he's ready. They weren't sure if they were going to start the clock, but they're starting the clock. He's starting at third base, not short. He's really a shortstop, but that's all right. He can handle the hot corner. And there's my one for no reason. Play at your own
Good for
risk.
him, man.
Absolutely.
I gotta match that. I'm gonna be a DJ and I'm gonna parlay it because that one's plus 560. So it's like I gotta match the juice on that. Let me find the odds for this guy because this one's a crazy pull. And not really a crazy pull. It's
Like I
kind
said,
of
this is just me being a Tigers fan.
it's kind
This
of
is
a
betting as
chalky
a
pull.
fan, which is a terrible idea.
Plus 4,520 two-leg parlay. Matt McClain, Kevin McGonigal, both to go yard. If that hit, I'm gonna put my bonus bet on it. 22 to win 994.
Well, what this tells me is at some point we got to have you back on to talk more baseball.
That'll be a crazy hit right there. Yeah. I'm really not just American baseball.
You got that KBO and all the good stuff.
Korean baseball. If you can get me and my guy Dirty Bubble on here at once, I think we would work some magic on here.
Well, you know
For
what
the
we need to do?
summertime.
We need to get you. We need to get Dirty Bubble, and you don't want me hosting. Let's get Dash in here, the real baseball knowledge.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, whoever. I mean, yeah, get me and my guy Dirty Bubble up here for KBO. When the dog days of summer comes, like there's nobody else you want to trust other than one of us.
That sounds great, man. Well, Nick, I appreciate you coming back on with me to talk some Sweet 16. It's always a pleasure. You know your stuff. It was great talking with you. You gave everybody that free play. So if they're if they're smart, they're gonna follow you. You've had a great tourney run. So let's see if we can get that rolling. Anything else you want to say to the people?
Yeah, let me add on to that. So as of today, 30 and 12, up 20.84 units on the March Madness tournament. So that's we're hitting at a 72% rate. It's only got to get, I wouldn't say easier, but I'd only expect the results to get better as the tournament narrows down. At least that's how it's been from the history of me. Like tomorrow, I got a big play. I think I got my play the tournament tomorrow in the UConn Michigan State game. So that's gonna be something to look forward to. Check my page out for that. I might end up posting it for free just because, I really want to cash the community out with this one.
Say a man of the people.
Yeah, this one, like I wouldn't normally post a max bet for free. I'm gonna probably put 3 units on it. I'm deciding if I want to do 2 or 3, but yeah, I got a big play. I got a big play for the Hurley Izzo game tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that one. And yeah, check my page out tomorrow. I'm most likely got to post it out for free. So Yeah,
Well, you gave a play today. You're teasing one for tomorrow. Man of the people, like I just said. Nick, we appreciate you coming on with us, man.
absolutely. I appreciate it every time, man. Good luck tonight. Yeah,
Watch
excited
out for
for the
that
next one,
McGonagall
guys.
homer too.
Oh, I'll
I
be
want
waiting. I'll buy a jersey if he hits. No joke.
There it is. All right, Nick, we really appreciate it. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
Absolutely, man. Have a good one.
You too.